Yo, what's good, y'all? It's Casper. Today's video, I'm going to be talking about the movie Bob Marley, One Love. Bob Marley, One Love is a 2024 film. It's rated PG-13 and it's an hour and 47 minutes. Directed by Reinaldo Marcus Green. This movie was actually kind of anticipated when I first heard about it. Before I saw the commercials and all the promotion for this movie, talking about it with my boy, how there's not really a Bob Marley movie, kind of like on a Jamie Foxx Ray movie status. So I was like really thinking about how like someone's got to actually try to put out a really great performance movie, especially if it's going to be about Bob Marley. A lot of shockers behind knowing about this movie. So with the director, I didn't even know that he worked on a movie with Will Smith, worked on a movie called King Richard. Very shocked that he came and was directing this movie. One of the shockers in this movie, especially in the directing side. On the actor side, we have Kingsley Ben Adir, who plays Bob Marley in this movie. Last movie that I've seen from him is One Night in Miami. He played Malcolm X in that movie. That movie was more of like a in time moment. It wasn't like a life journey type of movie where you're following, Malcolm X and everyone else in that movie. You're just basically in a certain time place, a certain city, and you're seeing these characters, interact with everybody. That direction for One Night in Miami really fit well with Kingsley Ben Adir. So when he was chosen as being Bob Marley, there was just a lot of stuff going through my head. Very impressed with his acting in general, because the fact that he is a British actor, especially after seeing the Bob Marley movie, did not catch any of that British accent or something that took away from that Jamaican tone or vibe. So after this movie, I feel like the acting was still good. I still feel like it was still a presentable thing. I think, like I said, with the tone of voice and bringing that culture along, it did give you one of those vibes where you did want to kind of think or imagine what was going on in Bob Marley's life during this movie. Presentation from Kingsley in this movie was mostly, it was just his movie to shine, but the movie wasn't like a shining movie. At times, this movie captured moments where from faraway shots, you can just see structure or the posture or just the size of Bob Marley from a faraway shot. I would say more of the faraway shots in this movie were more of like the hitting moments for Kingsley. Where we got the in close moments, at times I'm like, yo, this is not really looking like Bob Marley. The wig was kind of throwing me off. Just overall, being there in this movie, it was just something that I appreciated because I know he was a good actor. A lot of the characteristics of Kingsley for being Bob Marley were there. Did appreciate a lot of the stuff in this movie that, we're really trying to make it like a real character natural feel. At the end of it, Kingsley did do a pretty good job. It wasn't something that left the movie being like, I wish Kingsley did a better acting performance. So enjoyed his performance for what the movie gave him. The movie in general, I wish this movie was more of a biography feel, so we could really know whose character or what character is what. We can actually know what relationship Bob Marley has with everybody. In this movie, I was just a little confused on who was being brought up onto the screen. Obviously, I knew his wife was his wife, and I think her performance was okay at times, but I feel like they might have overdone it with her because the storyline with her, it was just like very random, and you're seeing a lot of drama and conflict now with the wife. For me, I'm just feel like this movie was just jumping around everywhere. I wish this movie had like some creativity on putting some title cards for the Wailers so we could see the names of each person part of, that studio session. In this movie as well, we're seeing like a flashback scenes with him being a child. Very random, out of place, hitting at the wrong moments. Seeing like his manager trying to do him dirty. Like we never really saw a build up to how this happened. It was just like one of those things like where we just showed up to this time and then showed up to this era where Bob Marley is trying to prove a lot of stuff with his music and show peace, but there's no build up or no feel to like actually see the expression or like have goosebumps to see like how impactful Bob Marley really was. The movie tried to have like crazy out of nowhere moments, just like, okay, this is out of nowhere, maybe this out of nowhere moments like the shooting scene could add to more build up to the movie, and I just really didn't get that. The set design was pretty good to show the environment at times. I feel like they could have just made it more heavier with the environment, made it more realistic. The movie might want you to do some research to see like who was really involved during Bob Marley's time during this era right here. And in that flashback scene, we're seeing like dude on a horse, and then I'm finding out later that it was like someone else took care of him as a child and he considered him his dad, but we don't know that through how the movie's presenting it to us. Like we can't really pick up that vibe. We're just hearing these characters imagining, daydreaming. I also heard a lot of people from Jamaican culture that he was a part of were behind the scenes helping with the process of this movie. So I guess they're helping with the culture side, the way people, you know, speak to another, and maybe the clothes that they were wearing, trying to show Bob Marley's characteristics. But I feel like in this movie, they're shying away from showing his real characteristics. Like here and there, they're trying to show him smoking some tree, but the way they do it, I'm just like, okay, I feel like they put that there just to be like, they never talked about weed. But you know, when you go back to it, it's like that was the moment, a very weak moment. You could see that they're dedicated to actually make this realistic. They're dedicated with like the heritage and the culture, like I just said. But the flow of the movie was just very random and odd. And we just show up. Camera direction, you could see that it was good quality and it's entertaining. The movie ends very, very weird as well. Basically tells the whole story at the end, starts showing real moments and the real story of what happened. And I'm like, yo, they put like all the descriptive stuff at the end. That would have been something nice to see at the end if we have seen it in the movie. Bob Marley's music is always chill, you know, it's always a vibe. But like in the movie, it didn't have like those, that song was hitting at that moment. From a viewer who doesn't really listen to his music or know who he is, I don't think from this movie you're gonna get an understanding on who he is. You might just get a glimpse here and there. Terrence Winter is the writer for this. He wrote Tulsa King and Wolf of Wall Street. But I don't know with this movie what happened. I don't know if it was just other people messing up the process. After my watching the movie Bob Marley One Love out of 10, I'm gonna have to give the movie a 6 out of 10. So that's my movie review for the movie Bob Marley One Love. Shout out to you guys for tuning into the video. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace, y'all.